Carolina versus Baltimore. Now this is something you really have to sink your teeth into because it's an extremely evenly matched game. We have two teams very much in the playoff hunt, will be there late into the playoff race as well. And they're similarly built. They have strong defenses. They have offenses that have talent, but not necessarily the most consistent things. Now, on the Baltimore side of things, Joe Flacco's pretty much always a QB2. He'll have great games now and again. This probably won't be one of them. It's a very tough matchup he has here. So, QB2 for Joe Flacco. The receiving threats for the Ravens are actually pretty darn interesting this year. John Brown, their deep threat, gets consistent targets. I mean, Joe Flacco's uncorking them to that guy on a regular basis, which is great. I have John Brown as a wide receiver too. Michael Crabtree's been inconsistent. I mean, he'll have games where he's a target monster. He'll have games where he goes away entirely. They're going to need him to step up in this game. That doesn't mean I think he will. I would say he's at best a wide receiver 3. He's probably riding your bench. Alex Collins is the absolute go-to running back in this offense, no questions asked. That being said, he's a running back 2 to a flex play this week simply because of the matchup. On the other side of things, Cam Newton's so fun to watch. It's great. I mean, he'll have games where he's running, throwing, just doing everything. Doing his Superman thing. Now, this game, it's a tough matchup. I wouldn't anticipate QB1 numbers out of him. But he's still talented enough that I'd start him. He's going to have the opportunity to do things with his arm and his legs. And, I'd roll the dice on Cam Newton this week. Christian McCaffrey, though, is the engine of this offense. So if you have him, you're starting him every week. He's their number 1 rusher. He's their number 2 receiver. Get him in there. So he'll find the end zone more frequently as the season progresses. I know he hasn't hit pay dirt that much this year, if at all. I'm not really clear on that, unfortunately. But he's obviously the player to own on this offense. Funches is a good receiving target, always consistently in the wide receiver 3 category, though, just based off of the way this offense works. 2 to 3, I should say. Greg Olsen, back in the mix, means a lot here. That will open up targets for McCaffrey and Funches. Defenses can't just key in on them because Cam Newton loves throwing the ball to Olsen until he gets hurt again, which he probably will, considering how rough the injury was and seemed a little rushed coming back. He's going to be a tight end 1. It's a weak year for tight ends. So if you picked up Olsen when he was coming off injury, good. I mean, he'll be a good option week to week. He's going to get consistent number of targets from Cam Newton. And the presence of Christian McCaffrey and Funches doesn't really do much to that. If anything, having Olsen does help the other two because it loosens up the defense. Having 3 solid receiving threats every single down matters a lot to an offense. So this is just going to help everybody involved. Carolina, absolutely start Christian McCaffrey. Start Funches if you have to. Absolutely start Greg Olsen. And I'd roll the dice on Cam Newton. Baltimore, John Brown, definitely a start. Alex Collins, definitely a start. And kind of iffy on Crabtree and Flacco.